Welcome back to English class. How are you? Hope you're all fine. So today we can go ahead with a new poem. See here, A Legend of the Northland, written by Phoebe Cary. Phoebecary. The pronunciation is Phoebe Cary. Okay. So A Legend of the Northland. A legend here in the sense, what's the meaning of a legend here? Not only a personality, he is a legend like that, but the historical event, the historical moment, the historical place is also called as a legend. And Northland, countries belong to North Pole. See, in geography lessons you might have learned North Pole, South Pole, isn't it? Like that. Countries related to North Pole are called as Northland. What are the countries? Which countries involved in Northland? 3 countries. What are they? Netherlands, Finland and Denmark. Okay. What is the backdrop of this poem? So it is a ballad. Ballad in the sense, a song narrating a story. A song narrating a story, and it has 16 stanzas. Okay. Means each stanza will go ahead, like see in the, if it is a lesson, paragraphs, first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, it's a continuation process, isn't it? In such case here, ballad in the sense, each stanza connects to complete a story. That is called ballad. And what is the theme of the poem here? A Legend of the Northland. Here the theme is Saint Peter versus Old Lady. That's why I have given verses. Saint Peter versus Old Lady. What about the Saint Peter character here? He is an apostle of Christ, means one of the disciples of Christ. Okay, who followed Christ. And what about him? He was annoyed or angered. On whom? On this old lady. Got the point? Old lady from North Pole. And what about her character? Her character is, she was greedy. Much greedy. Okay? So basing on this, A Legend of the Northland poem starts. Okay? Please come to the page number 65. Page number 65. This poem narrates the legend of an old lady who angered Saint Peter because of her greed. That is the first statement given here. And then, away, away in the Northland, wait the hours of the day or few. Away, away means far away from the Northland, means North Pole, means on outskirts. Wait the hours of the day or few. Hours of the day, how they are? They are few, it seems. And the nights are so long in winter. So apt lesson now, because now we fall into winter. And what about the day session? Daytime is less and nighttime is more. That's the thing he was saying in the second line. What is that? Hours of the day are few. And the nights are so long in winter, as usual, that they cannot sleep them through. That they cannot sleep them through because of this bit change in these areas. It means I am talking about the climatic conditions of Finland, Denmark and Netherlands areas. Okay, now next stanza. Where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like beer cups in their funny furry clothes. Where the harness, here harness in the sense to tie. What to tie? Reindeers, the animal reindeer to tie. Because in the polar regions, reindeers will be polar bears, reindeers. Okay, those will be available there. Okay. Let's start the poem. What is the title? A Legend of the Northland. As I said earlier, legend means it has 2 or 3 meanings. We can take it as a person, he is a legend, or else a historic event, or else a story which continues from the past and then narrating to the next gen, a future gen. That is also called as a legend. So here, a legend of the Northland. Northland areas where the Northland people, they have a story continues as a saga in the form of ballad, what I have said. Now come to the first stanza. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of days are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. Why so? The duration of the day is very less because it's positioned in such area. The sun rays reach for a very less time. These are the scientific reasons. Okay, and the nights are so longer. If they go to bed, take a few hours of sleep, then they wake up, it is still night time. So here the writer she wants to emphasize on the fact that the duration of the night is very long. That is her intention. The poetess intention is that. Okay, who is the poetess here? Phoebe Carey. Now, second stanza. Where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like bears' cubs in their funny furry clothes. Here in the second stanza, where they harnessed. Harness in the sense to tie. The swift. Swift in the sense very fast moving. Reindeer, it's a polar region animal. So, here the Northland region experiences severe cold conditions, as we all know, and it is a snowy area. And here, what is the animal found? Reindeer. And the people tie the reindeers to sledges. Sledges in the sense a vehicle which is used for conveying loads or passengers over snow or ice. So, for that they will be tying. When it snows, and the children, they look like whom it seems like bear cubs, because the bear with its furry coat on its body. Like that here, the young one, the small kids also, the children appear with furry and funny, looks funny. Funny clothes it seems. And then when we come to the third stanza, they tell them a curious story. I don't believe it's true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. Yes, strange, curious means strange story. They means parents. They tell them means the next generation, the children, the young generation. The parents will be telling the next generation a story. That's the meaning, the title justification here, the legend. Legend have 3 or 4 meanings. But here, what is the meaning here? Here, the legend means a story which is continuing in the past, from past, and it is continuing in the future generation. Something story, if they believe or not, that is secondary. But a story as a legacy, it's continuing. So it's a legend. Or else sometimes a personality or a historic event. All this comes under the word legend. Now they tell them, the parents or elders tell them, the children or the young generation, a curious story, a strange story, whether they believe or not. Means here the poetess is saying, I may not believe, but yet you may learn a lesson. But what happened? The line here, yet you may learn a lesson. You can know some moral from it if I tell the tale to you. The story gives an important message. Okay? Now come to fourth stanza. Once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it, preaching just as he did. You know, here Saint Peter means an apostle of Christ, as I explained just now. A Christ disciple or follower of Jesus Christ. Preaching to give a religious talk. Here the story is about Saint Peter. What else the poetess want to say, whether she believe or not, to carry forward to the next gen with a moral message. When Saint Peter used to live in the world and went around giving religious lectures to the people, just like all saints do naturally, then one incident happened, it seems. Okay? Next, fifth stanza. He came to the door of a cottage in traveling round the earth, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth. And baking them on the hearth in the sense, fireplace where you do cooking. What does it mean? Hearth in the sense, fireplace where you do cooking. So he was saying, what is that? Once a good Samaritan, means a good Saint Peter, when he was walking around the world by preaching, some incident happened. What is the incident? When Saint Peter was moving around the world and giving the lectures, he reached the door of a cottage where a small woman, old woman, was making cakes, it seems. What she was doing, she was baking the cakes into the fireplace. Then what happened? We can see in the next. So this is the link. Each stanza will be narrating the story. That is called ballad. Okay, narrating story. And now, next stanza 6. And being faint with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from her store of cakes to give him a single one. Here, faint in the sense to be weak, is almost to be faint. As Saint Peter had not eaten anything the entire day, he was very hungry and was feeling weak. So what happened? He went to this woman who was baking cakes and he asked for one cake out of many cakes that she had baked. For that word, see, we have in the third line, store of cakes. So many cakes that she had baked. Okay. So whether she has given the cakes or refused to give, we can know in the next class. That's all for today. Thank you.